Today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane and look at a ship that I haven't featured in quite some time, the Tier 5 Premium French Cruiser de Grasse. And those of you 10,000 subscribers who've been with me since the beginning might recognize the de Grasse as a ship I used to feature a lot back in the day. This was, in fact, my very first premium in World of Warships Legends, the first one I ever bought on the advice of T-Bull, and I didn't regret it. It, at one point, became my most played ship in the game. It's no longer that. It's been overtaken by a number of others, but to this day, I still have 246 battles played in the de Grasse and a 65% win rate, which suggests, it's not that bad of a ship. And even in 2025, I think 5 or 6 years after it was released, it's still pretty good. This is a nice little Tier 5 battle I've got for you, and I thought it would be the perfect game to use in order to facilitate a giveaway for a Tier 5 premium ship. I'll give you some more details once we reach the lull in the battle on how to enter the giveaway, but for now, we've spawned near the Charlie Cap, and if we take a look at the minimap, it's not just the Aoba that's pushing in. We've also got another cruiser, another battleship, maybe even a fourth ship somewhere out there. And I don't think anybody's spotted the enemy destroyer yet, so he very well could be in this cap too. Aoba, not exactly the best move to push into all of the friendly ships over here. It's not just me, it's some others. We're going to continue to farm him as he goes along. I should tell you that the de Grasse these days is perhaps a little bit harder to play than it used to be back in the day, but it does have one major thing going for it down here at Tier 5 that probably not a lot of other cruisers can compete with. I'm running Andre Roux as the captain. He's the more defensive-minded French cruiser, and he's got some skills that buff the speed on this thing. We can achieve, without the engine boost, a maximum speed of 38 knots using Roux, the speed flag, and then if you pop the engine boost, this thing goes in excess of 40 knots, which makes it a little bit difficult to hit. Very good, considering the thing is coated in 16mm armor everywhere and can be overmatched by practically everything. You need that speed in order to dodge salvos, and this ship plays a lot like the higher tier French cruisers, honestly, like Charles Martel, for example. That may be one of the reasons I love that ship so much, is because it reminds me of this. The main difference is we've got 152mm guns on the de Grasse versus the 203 on the Charles Martel, so it's a light cruiser rather than a heavy cruiser. We also don't have any main battery reload booster. These guns reload in 8.1 seconds, and they've got a fire chance on this HE of 12%, which makes it a little flamethrower down here at Tier 5. The AP shell damage is 3,300. It's got a couple torpedoes, 9-kilometer range, 3 torpedoes on each side. They hit for 14,000 damage. I don't think they come into play that often. The maneuverability, in addition to the speed, is quite good. We have a 690-meter turning circle and a 5.8-second rudder shift, and our concealment is pretty bad at 11.2 kilometers, but the de Grasse is a nice sort of kiting DPM cruiser that can still get the job done these days. The cap has been cleared. We spotted the enemy destroyer a little while back. I believe it was the Pan-European Visby, and he's been sent back to port, along with the friendly destroyer. The blue team's lost a battleship and the DD. Red team's lost a DD and a cruiser, so it's quite even thus far. Giulio Cesare has also overextended into the cap. He's regretting it. On fire, courtesy of the de Grasse's guns, and I'm sure he took a lot of damage from our teammates there. He ends up going down. We get a second fist to go with our first one. And now, if we take a look at the minimap, this is a good example of how to know when you should kite and when you should push in. We had to kite initially because of the number of enemy ships inside of this cap. We don't have any armor, we don't have a lot of HP, we can't stand up to any kind of sustained focus fire. And early on in the game, when you're playing a cruiser, especially at these lower tiers, you probably want to preserve your HP as much as you possibly can so that you can save it to be more aggressive in the later game. Now, only 5 minutes have elapsed, but we're going to start being quite aggressive here because we can see only the Pensacola and this Celebes, or whatever it's called, this Commonwealth or Australian cruiser. I don't actually know what this thing is. Can't remember. It must be some sort of obscure premium, I think. Anyway, they're the only two ships here, and if this guy continues reversing behind the island, we're going to have a clear shot on the Pensacola. Doesn't look like he's inclined to come around that corner, but if he does, he's going to have some torpedoes to contend with. He's lost most of his HP. I think the Pensacola, myself, and the battleship behind us have successfully scared him off, which means it's effectively a 1v2 between me and this Leander against the Pensacola. That means we can push in and be as aggressive as we want. We've got another cruiser in the middle of the map that's pushing toward the enemy spawn, but he goes down, and I think the islands would have shielded him from us or us from him. So Pensacola is alone versus two Tier 5 light cruisers, British and French. He's doing the bow tanking thing as if he's a battleship, and well, not a great position to find yourself in. The Pensacola can't really tank sustained DPM from light cruisers like this, and he's going to go down as our second kill of the game. The Bravo cap is clear now, and we should be able to take it. The other cruiser is still behind the island somewhere. We're probably going to end up meeting him soon. And we've got the enemy aircraft carrier somewhere out in the distance. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the last remaining enemy battleship and the other cruiser that's still alive are pushing down the very opposite flank, too far away to be able to shoot at us. Looks like they're in hot pursuit of our CV, who is, I think, reversing himself behind an island over there. Wow, the Ryujo really doesn't have any armor, does it? HE Citadels from the de Grasse. Kind of nice to see. And this Ryujo is basically going to be a punching bag for us as we net the Confederate medal with 61,000 damage done. Not a lot of deep hit point pools down here at Tier 5, so not much of a surprise to start racking up these medals at even a fairly low amount of damage. I'd say this is good for Tier 5, though. Ryujo under fire from us and the Leander. He's not long for this world. And we catch the other enemy cruiser headed toward the map border. Ryujo can't really shoot at us with any guns, considering he's an aircraft carrier. He's about to go down. We'll send one last shot his way. Hopefully it sinks him and nets us our third kill. And yes, it does. Always good to get that kill on the aircraft carrier. And that just leaves the Celebes thing, Celebes. I have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce this. I'm sure I'm butchering it. In any case, he's having to kite to the map border. His aim is somewhat questionable there. He's going to hit that map border, and then he's going to be forced to turn. It's going to take an inordinately long amount of time to sink him, actually. I think the dispersion down here on some cruisers at Tier 5 does leave a little bit to be desired. We're not exactly hitting all the shells I'd like to see on the broadside of this thing, but we're going to switch to the French AP. Like most other French ships, the AP penetration here is good. So good that it's giving us overpens on the slightly broadside cruiser, but there's the high caliber medal. Any citadels? No. And ultimately, we don't get the kill. We get 3 fists to go with our 3 sunk ribbons. Now, for the giveaway, if you would like to win yourself a Tier 5 premium, all you've got to do is put a comment on this video. What I would need you to say is what Tier 5 premium ship you want, your in-game name, and your platform. What I'm going to do is have a random bot pick the winner, just like I did for the previous stream, except from comments rather than a live chat. I'll have a random bot pick the winning comment, but the comment will have to be disqualified, and I'll have to roll the bot again if the comment does not contain the Tier 5 premium ship you want, your in-game name, and your platform. I need all of that so I can send the information to Wargaming, and they can credit your account or invoice it with the premium ship. Now, The available premiums you could win are those that you will find available in the store, either for doubloons or for global XP. I don't think there are any tier 5 premiums available for global XP, but there are a ton of them available for doubloons. And any of these are fair game. I'll list them all off for you real quick. You might want to double check the sales tab though before you submit your entry. Monaghan, Arizona, West Virginia, Sweho, the Tier 5 IJN carrier, Hyuga, Mutsu, Exeter, Gallant, London, Warspite, Prince Idle Friedrich, Graf Spee, T-61, Dunkirk, of course, de Grasse, Makarov, Molotov, Lione, Duca d'Aosta, Anshan, and Huanghe. Those are the Tier 5 premiums currently available in the store for doubloons. The cost of each is 10,000, but you can win one for free if RNGesus smiles favorably upon you and randomly picks your winning comment. Today is June 9th, 2025, the day this video is going live. I'll give it until Thursday, June 12th, 2025. On that day, I will call up the bot to pick the winner. And again, the comment, in order to win, needs to include the Tier 5 ship that you won available in the store for doubloons, your name on PlayStation, Xbox, or I suppose mobile, and your platform. That way I can give Wargaming the information they need to invoice the ship to your account. The reason I want the cutoff day to be Thursday is because I hope that if I pick a winner that day and let Wargaming know, they'll be able to turn around and invoice the ship to you on Friday, June 13th. That's an ironic day to be the winner of a premium ship, isn't it? Friday the 13th. Well, it's going to be one person's lucky day, ideally. I can't guarantee that Wargaming will be able to invoice the winning ship that quickly, but that's why I wanted to do the giveaway this way in order to give you the best chance. So I think you know everything you need to. Again, if you do not put a Tier 5 ship for doubloons, your platform name, and your platform in the comment, I will have to use the bot to re-roll and pick until I get a comment that contains all that information. So good luck out there. You don't have to choose the de Grasse, of course. There are a lot of Tier 5 premiums available that are very good. De Grasse is certainly one. Warspite would be an excellent choice. T-61, Hyuga, even, well, I don't like Mutsu that much, but Mutsu's all right. West Virginia, Arizona. Graf Spee is a weird little thing. Duca d'Aosta, Huanghe. Those are both interesting ships. There's a lot of good stuff at Tier 5. And if you're interested, again, leave a comment on this video. As for this battle, it's pretty much wrapped up here. We've got the enemy Pensacola and the enemy Bayern in hot pursuit. Well, no, not in hot pursuit of the enemy CV, or the friendly CV, rather. They've sunk it. And, well, they're out of position to sink anybody else in this match. My remaining teammates have succeeded in taking the Alpha Cap. They're moving into the Charlie Cap. We're so far ahead of the enemy team on points that there's really no way that they're going to be able to come back within the last 2 minutes. And so all we have to do is stay alive. Bit of a tall order, perhaps. We've used most of our HP through the duration of this battle. Down at Tier 5, of course, we have no armor and no ability to heal. So the only way we keep ourselves alive is by playing intelligently and using our HP as sort of a currency to make plays. The idea, I think, generally speaking, is to preserve the HP in the early game so that it's available for you in the late game. And in situations like this, the win is more or less guaranteed, but we don't want to take any chances. Bayern does have 15-inch guns. They aren't accurate by any stretch of the imagination, but if he shoots at us even once, he could very easily sink us. He overmatches us everywhere. So we wait for him to shoot at our teammates. We fire at him in return, light a fire. That is 18 fires in this match, by the way. With the de Grasse, keep in mind, too, that I am using Rue as the commander. I have no commander skills whatsoever buffing the fire chance. This is the base fire chance for this cruiser at Tier 5. It really is a flamethrower, and that is where most of the damage in this battle ultimately came from. We're over 100,000 damage done now as the Bayern fires one last shot at us, and, well, he does hit us, but he only shaves off half of our remaining HP, so we're able to sail off into the sunset with our glorious victory. The only thing that could make it slightly sweeter is if we're able to get maybe another kill. I suppose a Kraken was theoretically up for grabs, but we would have had to have played a lot more aggressively and maybe needed a little bit more time. As it stands, though, we win the battle with over 100,000 damage done in a Tier 5 premium light cruiser and 3,150 base XP, thanks to, I suppose, highly efficient damage dealing. We didn't shoot down a lot of planes, so I don't think the numbers are too inflated by that. Hope you guys enjoyed this blast from the past. Good luck in the giveaway. Leave your comments now with the Tier 5 ship you want. Has to be available in the store for doubloons, your platform name, and your platform. Good luck. I will choose a winner on Thursday. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.